power supply, hydraulic pressure, control systems. Across Singapore, 95 regulated amusement rides operate every day, from wildlife parks to riverfront attractions. Each one has to meet strict engineering and regulatory requirements. Nothing opens without clearance. Different rides, same system.
A total of 48 points that we need to do on our daily checklist. Check the seats, handrails. You have to make sure we complete every single step.
At the Amazon River Quest in Mandai, technicians work through 48 inspection points before opening.
Check the power supply, make sure it's at the optimum level. Powers are all good.
Nothing moves until every item is cleared. Technicians like Jumaat are responsible for clearing the ride each morning.
The water pump plays a big part of the main attraction. The boat will actually move with the water current flow back to the station.
Across the island, in the heart of Singapore's nightlife district, another ride begins its checks. This ride launches almost 70 meters into the air above the Singapore River. Before the first ride is released, Ajul works through up to 30 inspection points.
It takes about 1 or 1.5 hours. Check. If any incident, we can refer back into the checklist. Okay. Right, guys, now we do the cylinder test, right? Slowly. After we do test launch, we are confirmed to open the ride.
All rides are tested under live conditions and run empty as a final check. At Mandai, the boats complete 3 full empty circuits. Every bolt is checked. Paint stripes or torque marks are an instant visual cue that something may have shifted.
Once it is broken, we were able to detect that there's movement on the bolts and nuts. We will actually troubleshoot, tighten it up, then do a remarking again.
This verifies that the Vertical Transport Unit, or VTU, is operating as designed. Once lifted, gravity and water take over. Daily inspections address what can be observed. But the system begins much earlier. Before any ride is installed in Singapore, it must pass through a specialist professional engineer.
No one is supposed to install any ride in Singapore without an installation permit, and we need to review all the design documents.
Yogiswaran is one of only 16 specialist professional engineers in Singapore registered to review amusement ride design. He examines structural calculations, projected loads, G-force exposure, and failure scenarios. The process can take years.
Why? Because we are sitting down looking at all the various documents provided by the manufacturers to ensure that safety is never compromised.
If a design does not meet required standards, no installation permit is issued.
At the end of the day, I'm the one who will be signing off on the report and giving it to them.
Oversight continues at the regulatory level. The Building and Construction Authority, or BCA, supervises the entire life cycle of amusement rides in Singapore.
We regulate the entire life cycle through various permit systems. So from design stage to the installation, to operation and to even the maintenance of the amusement ride.
Approximately 95 active rides operate under its framework. Rainer is part of that team.
As a regulator, we set the regulatory framework and may conduct a separate independent inspection to ensure that the items are verified.
Singapore is unique. We have the authority, the stakeholder, and the inspector all working together. In other parts of the world, they leave it to both the owners or the inspectors to do the verification. What it means is it is up to you.
Singapore's ride safety framework wasn't always structured this way. In 2011, as larger and more complex rides entered the market, oversight shifted from an entertainment licensing approach to an engineering-led regulatory model.
2011 is where Universal was being set up, and the rides became more complex. So in 2011, the regulation came in is actually to have a proper framework in terms of the inspections, the way the rides are installed in Singapore, how it is going to be managed by all stakeholders involved.
Mandatory inspections were formalized. Roles were defined. The structure remains in place today.
From the design stage, we will actually check the amusement rides. Sometimes we might make certain clarifications, and we also will stipulate certain requirements.
If one part failing can bring the whole ride down, the ride isn't considered safe enough.
Let's say the ride has a single point of failure. If the ride has inadequate redundancy, we will usually stipulate requirements to the operators and manufacturers, and we will let a specialist professional engineer know that, we feel that this portion of the ride is not adequately designed to be safe, and so we will add these requirements in.
Those requirements are translated into installation decisions. Redundancy is built into the system and into the ride itself. 4 tether ropes hold the slingshot ride. If one fails, 3 remain.
With one rope being displaced or broken, the ride can still function with the remaining 3 ropes.
Critical steps are cross-verified. Harnesses are checked by 2 operators.
2 eyes is better than 1. It's actually a requirement by BCA.
Height, velocity, acceleration. G-force or gravitational force describes the pressure your body feels when a ride accelerates. The slingshot reaches close to 3 times the force of gravity.
It's about like 30 kilogram force sitting on you.
Under Singapore's classification system, that places it within the major ride category.
In terms of defining whether a ride is major, it's actually based on an acceleration chart. In the code, is very clearly stated. Anything above area 3 to area 5, that's how it's being classified as a major ride.
Rides exceeding specified thresholds fall under stricter regulatory oversight.
So a major ride, we will require the inputs from a conformity assessor. So usually a person or a body that the expertise in this field of amusement engineering, and we require them to be on site to review together with the specialist professional engineers the ride functionality, the design, as well as the operation and maintenance of the ride.
Before a ride can operate, operators must adopt a formal amusement ride safety management system.
So it's a set of documents that consists of 10 different elements to guide the operators in systematically managing the safety of the rides. So such elements will include like maintenance, like their risk assessments, operations, emergency rescue procedures, as well as training process in terms of training their staff.
A mix of daily, monthly, and quarterly inspections and audits spot technical, operational, and compliance gaps. Every year, operating permits must be renewed.
For our yearly permit renewal, we will close the ride for about 2 weeks. For the whole process, we will undergo maintenance and inspection.
Documentation is very important. We will review them whenever they come in for annual renewal of permits and to cover any lapses.
3 months before, we always come down for an inspection. What we are looking for is how people keep the ride. It's just like basic housekeeping. If your house is dirty, you know that, hey, something is not right? So it's a similar concept for us. We climb up the towers, making sure there are no cracks, no corrosions. The other important thing is the harness and the safety belts.
If defects are minor, rectification deadlines are issued. If critical, operations cannot resume until corrected. Inspections include undercover checks.
I always prepared surprise inspection or any incident. So it's actually very helpful, another eye for me to ensure everything is safe. It's actually made my job easier because we have PCA rules and regulations about safety.
It's not just the number of checks, it's how the responsibilities are structured. Operators inspect daily. Engineers certify compliance. Regulators oversee, each accountable under the law. So when a ride lifts or launches, it has already passed through every required safety layer. Because the real thrill is everyone walking away safe.